know there's a formula for residential properties. We call it the MAO formula. Is there a formula that you can use for rentals? Well, actually, there is a MAO formula for rental. And it was introduced to me by one of my mentors, Bill Fell, many years ago. And now I'm going to show you the proper way to analyze a rental property using the one formula, or the MAO formula for rental. Okay, for the sake of this example, we're going to use a fictional property, and that property address is 414 Cold Spring Lane. It's in Baltimore, Maryland, because that's where the Mad Scientist is from. He's from Baltimore. Now, this is the only formula that I believe you need in order to analyze rental properties. It's going to give you the true dollar amount that you should be offering that homeowner. Here's how we use it. Now, we know the address is 414 East Cold Spring Lane. Let's say the monthly amount for rent is $1,600 for this property. So if you multiply that times 12, it's $19,200. Just keep in mind that on this side, everything is monthly amount. So the yearly amount for rent is $19,200. Divide that times 12, $1,600. Taxes. The tax amount is $2,952 a year. Divide that times 12, $246. Stop the video. If you stay to the end, you're going to get an opportunity to get a copy of my automated MAO formula spreadsheet for free. The actual management fee, let's say it's at 8%. Typically, it's between 8 and 10%. That management fee is $1,536 per year. Divided by 12, you're at $128. Now, you got to understand that you also have to subtract vacancy, repair, and reserves. So on this left side, these are all the numbers that you're going to subtract from your actual monthly rental amount. So vacancy, repair, and reserve, usually it's between 18 and 20%. You need to take allowance for a vacancy. You need to take allowance for reserves that may come up in regards to issues that come up with the property. And you may need to take into account a reserve amount. Those three usually total between 18 and 20%. In this example, we're going to say 19%. So that equals $3,648 a year, meaning $304 a month. Now, insurance, $900 a year to put insurance on your property. Divided by 12, $75. In Baltimore, we have something that's called ground rent. For the sake of this example, we're not going to put anything for ground rent. We're going to say that the ground rent was actually, there is no ground rent on this property, so that number is 0. In Baltimore, you also have to register your property as a rental. That cost is $30 per year. Divide that times 12, $2.50 a month. You also have to pay for a rental inspection for your property. That cost normally is $150 to $200 each time you move in someone in your rental. So 150 divided by 12 is $12.50. Now, you can easily say, I want to make, let's say, $400 a month positive cash flow. Now, positive cash flow is the money that you're going to make after all expenses. So I want to make $400 a month positive cash flow. Next step, you're going to subtract all of your expenses from here to here. And you're subtracting that from the rental amount. So if the rental amount is $1,600 minus all these expenses, next, step 2, you have to add up all of your expenses. All of your expenses start from here to here. That adds up to $1,168. Step 2, subtract your expenses from your actual rent. You come up with a total amount of $432 left over. I'm going to repeat that again. You subtract all of your expenses from the rental amount, the monthly rental amount, $432. That's how much you have left over once you do the math. Let's take it to the next level. This equals the amount you have left over for a mortgage payment. I'm going to say it again. That $432 equals the amount you have left over for a mortgage payment. Now, let's take out our trusty calculator, and I'm going to break down how you figure out how much you should offer the seller. So in this situation, we have an interest rate of 7.25. Because let's say we did our homework, we went out and checked with a lender, and we know we can get that actual interest rate on this property on the refi. However we're doing it, we know the interest rate is going to be at 7.25. We also know that we can get 30 years on the terms. So if you look at this breakdown, the actual amount you can afford to pay on the mortgage minus along with the interest rate, along with the terms, that means the max that you can offer that homeowner is $63,326 if you want to make $400 a month. Now let's say, well, hey Charles, that's kind of aggressive. A $400 a month cash flow. That's pretty aggressive, man. Well, let's say you cut that in half. Let's say all you really want to make is $200 a month. So you basically want to add an additional $200. You're going to just take it from this 400 and put it over here. So this number is now 632 instead of 432 because you subtracted 200 from your profit. In this next equation, we're not trying to make a profit of 400. We're only trying to make a profit of 200. So that 200 goes over here, and now you're at 632. So if you're at 632, that's the amount of a mortgage that you can afford. So with a mortgage amount of 632 and an interest rate of 7.25 and a term of 30 years, the max you can offer that homeowner is $92,937. And that's how you figure out the maximum allowable offer you can offer for a rental. It's based on the expenses minus the rental amount with what you have left over and the actual terms that you get your money at will dictate how much the property is worth. Now, keep this in mind. The best way this should be presented is written right there in front of that homeowner. You should have that pen and that paper ready and break down all these numbers so that that homeowner can see the property is only worth the amount of mortgage it can support. So the amount of money that's left over to support a mortgage payment equals this dollar amount, Mr. Jackson. So anything less than that, I'm going to be cutting into my profit, and I have to make a profit. If you do this the way I'm telling you, if you do this the way my mentor taught me, by breaking it down line item by line item, when you're with the seller, the disagreement on this offer is hard for that seller to say you're doing something wrong. You broke it down. These are the actual expenses. These are actual tangible expenses that there's no escaping. The actual rental amount, this is what it's going to be. Subtract your actual interest payment term, you have your breakdown of the most that you could pay. And that's how you get that rental deal closed. That's your maximal allowable offer for rental properties. Now, the key thing that I want you to understand about this formula is that the property is only worth the amount that the money that's left over can afford to pay for a mortgage. So if that dollar amount that's left over equals a $60,000 mortgage payment, that means that house isn't worth more than $60,000. If it equals a $90,000 mortgage payment, that means the offer you should make to the seller is $90,000. If it's a $150,000 mortgage payment that it equals, that means the offer you should make to the seller is $150,000. It's only worth the value of the mortgage that it equal to. And that's, my friend, is the one formula, or what I like to commonly call the maximal allowable offer formula for rentals. Now, for staying at the end, I have a special bonus for you guys. Each and every one of you will get a copy of my automated spreadsheet. This is the automated spreadsheet that you can use to calculate the maximum allowable offer you want to pay for rental properties. All you have to do is just leave a comment below. Mad Scientist, I want your spreadsheet. Mad Scientist, great video. Mad Scientist, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Give me the spreadsheet, and I will give you my maximum allowable offer spreadsheet for free. This is Charles Blair, the Mad Scientist, signing out, and I'll see you in the next video.